Hey everybody, welcome back to Highway Blossoms. Last time we found out that Marina's car had been stolen or I'm just throwing this out there, possibly abducted by a UFO. I mean, they are near Roswell. It's possible. But anyways, because of that, Marina convinced Amber to drive her to the first spot where the treasure is at Shiprock, which is on the Navajo Reservation, which is really interesting because I'm kind of curious to see if this game is going to have any cultural commentary or if it's going to ignore it outright. We'll find out. Let's find out. Oh yeah, and that thing about the treasure. I'd really like to know more about that too. With that, I step into the back room and slam the sliding door before collapsing onto the oversized bed. Even in the darkness, I can make out the pictures hanging on the wall. Once upon a time, they were generic scenic pieces. Now they're photos. Photos of me and Gramps. My favorite is the one of us in front of a museum for music. Rock and roll, to be specific. I was just a little pipsqueak back then, holding up an autographed vinyl sleeve that was about the size of my head. He was by my side, squatting down and ruffling my hair as I gave the biggest smile I could, even with my missing teeth. I let out a sigh and fixate on the Sealian skylight, a small sliver of the moonlight shining through. It feels like an eternity since I've last laid down on this bed. I remember it felt like being hugged by a cloud. Now it feels like concrete. Tiny creaks sound from the room next door, accompanied by Marina's little squeaks of determination as she struggles with the fold-out bed, until finally I hear a loud thud. Ah! I can't help but smirk a little. I should have warned her that it was heavy. The room over goes silent. I hope it didn't crush her. Luckily, I soon hear footsteps tiptoeing across the carpet, then on the bathroom tile. They stop outside my door. Hey, are you awake? Her voice is weak, barely above a whisper. It's almost impossible to hear as it's muffled through the door. I know I've said it a lot already, but I really mean it. Thanks, Amber. Good night. I continue to stay silent. In the dark, the ceiling looks like it's constantly changing in size and dimension, sometimes getting bigger and further away, other times getting closer and smaller. I look down. Through the crack under the door, I can see her shadow turning around to leave. The words slip out of my mouth before she can even take her first step. Night, kiddo. Do we know how old Amber is? Because we know that Marina's right out of college or right out of high school. But I don't think it's been hinted at Amber's age, though we can assume she's probably pretty young. And I don't know if her expenses that were talked about earlier are actual student loans. I kind of think they might be like funeral expenses for her grandfather or something. But I don't know. We'll find out. I'm sure it's going to come up again. Most people imagine Indian reservations as tucked away slices of heaven, maybe some pocketed oasis of vibrant greens and flowing water in what is otherwise a wasteland. I've never met anyone who thinks that about about a Native American reservation. I think everyone pretty much knows that they're pretty barren and pretty awful, unfortunately. And anyone who thinks that is absolutely wrong. But I don't know, even people who don't seem to be familiar with any reservations don't seem to think that. Anyways, what do I know? I don't know everyone in the world. Those people are wrong. The Navajo Reservation is as sandy and barren as the rest of the desert, and at 22,475 miles, it's neither green nor fun-sized. Not that I hate it. The miles of faded highway road whooshes by, blending together with the sand that stretches out to far-off rigid mountain. Like there's a rhythm to it all. Behind me, Marina is still stretched out on the fold-out bed, cuddling the pillow, a substitute for a blanket that's long since fallen off her bed. My old gym clothes are a little small for her, the shorts only reaching halfway down her thighs. But hey, I'm not complaining. That's right. That's right, Amber. No reason to complain. That's something I gotta like about Amber's character, is she seems very aware of her feelings. She did make a comment at the girl in the about the girl in the jumpsuit back at the convenience store at the gas station, and I think she's had a couple comments like this towards Marina. So I like that she's pretty aware of her feelings. That's nice. Nice touch. Soon we're rolling into the town, its jagged namesake peeking over the horizon, Shiprock. The town itself is typical for this desert. Nothing fancy like a high-rise, just a whole lot of plain shacks sitting on top of gravel, painted warm brown and beiges. From behind me, there's a light almost fluffy on. I wonder how that bundle of joy handles mornings. Morning? Oh, hey, you're finally awake. Uh-huh. She yawns again and thumps back against the bed. Guess she's not a morning person. There's still some coffee in the... Oh, wow, is that Shiprock? I take it back. Marina rushes behind me and grabs the back of the seats, her eyes sparkling. It's huge. I can't believe we could see it from so far away. On closer inspection, my clothes are way too tight for her. My poor shirt is being stretched to its limit. But not that you're complaining, right, Amber? I mean, of course, this doesn't seem to bother her at all. I don't know if I'm more embarrassed for myself or for her. Well, we have to get moving now, so get dressed or whatever. Ah, sure thing. She scampers off to the back, finally giving me room to breathe as I make my way to the driver's seat. Until I accidentally glance at the rearview mirror. In the middle of the motorhome, Marina slips out of her pajamas and into her regular clothes. Geez, the bathroom is right there. I adjust the mirror and try my hardest to stay focused on anything else I can look at. Fully dressed, Marina pops up beside me and settles in the passenger seat. The desolate road continues until suddenly, as if out of nowhere, we're greeted by a line of cars, RVs, buses, and every other kind of vehicle under this blazing sun. All lumped together, stacked one on top of the other, side by side, and every single one of them blasting their horns. What the... Whoa, you think it's because of the treasure? I grit my teeth and flop back in my seat. I can only pray these are tourists, and I was the only one dumb enough to humor this scam. We're soon assimilated into the traffic jam. Slowly, the motorhome inches forward, but when we finally reach the front, a whole new monster awaits us. Laid out on the dirt, barely in the shadow of the looming mountain, is a giant cluster that can only be described as such. Campers, tents, tarps, booths, you name it. A chaotic horde of people crowd around the entire unorganized mess. I cringe at the very sight of it. I'm in hell. Marina pushes her face against the window in awe at the sheer insanity. I don't think I've seen this many people since the concert. Oh God, she's going to break from the overstimulation. A choir of horns serenade us from behind. Groaning, I pull forward and squeeze the motorhome into the nearest available space, stuffed tightly between everything else. Backing out is going to be a real pain. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go find that treasure. Marina sits up and nearly leaps out of the car, but I grab her wrist and pull her back into her seat. Just hold on a second. Her enthusiasm fades. Oh, that's right. You were only going to drop me off and leave. Sorry, but I'm going to stick around a bit longer. For real? Ah, very curious, Amber. Why are you going to stick around? She starts sniffling. You're so nice to me, Amber. I think I might cry. Hold it in. We gotta think of a game plan first. Okay. Marina returns to her usual happy-go-lucky self while I grimace at the chaos outside. If I suspend my disbelief and assume the treasure is real, where would we even start? We don't even have any equipment. I guess we may as well start by checking out the place. I'm the first to make my way out into the sea of people. My nose is assaulted with smells of campfires and BO masked in suntan lotion. Smells like tourists, all right. Marina finishes her run around the motorhome and huddles close to me, her eyes still wide with wonder, but far less gung-ho than before. The two of us make our way through the makeshift campground, following a guardrail that's been set up to separate the visitors from the rock. All the while, we pass different scenes starring all sorts of people. A news anchor elbowing nosy hecklers out of the way while she tries to report. Men on top of motorhomes and lawn chairs, strumming away on guitars. Even vendors have set up shop here, selling over-ripened fruit from their booths. Oh, I'm sure the Navajo people would love this. Yeah, right. Oh, man. This stuff just frustrates me. Ugh. Marina is speechless, looking on in overwhelmed curiosity and hovering so close I keep tripping over her. I'm half expecting her to grab onto one of my belt loops. I'm surprised. I pegged her to be pretty good with crowds. Please stay behind the guardrail. I repeat, please stay behind the guardrail. A booming voice shouts over the crackling of a megaphone. Pushing through the crowd, we're shoved into a part of the crowd that's mobbing by an opening in the guardrail. They're barred from advancing by a lone man standing on top of a folding chair and clutching his megaphone like a shotgun. Stay behind the guardrail. Please be considerate of Navajo land. What's going on? I'm not sure. I think the sun reflects off the truck behind it. I squint my eyes at the word printed on its side. Navajo Parks and Recreation. It's the man. The man? Never mind. That was actually kind of clever. But I like this. They're hinting that they're actually going to have some like cultural commentary about Native American people, specifically the Navajo in this instance. And I'd be really curious to see what the game has to continue to say about it. So far, it seems like they've got a better understanding of the issue than most do, unfortunately. The relentless crowd ignores him, ramming him into each other as they fling whole dictionaries worth of profanity at him. This could get nasty. Maybe they're moshing. People did that at the concert. No, Marina. This is unfortunately way too common at a lot of sacred sites because they get turned into tourist attractions, which, does help reservations support themselves. It's still really sucky, but it helps. But people, like tourists, don't have a whole lot of respect. They don't understand the significance of these places, and they're not really meant to be tourist attractions either. They're sacred spots like churches or mosques or temples. And it's just a really hard concept for a lot of people in the West to get, especially your average American. Just what the hell kind of concert did you go to anyway? Wait a second. In the back of the mosh, distant from the calamity, is a familiar sight. Blonde hair, intertwined and running through a dark red bandana. Oh, the girl from the convenience store who wears like her jumpsuit half on, half off. Yeah, no, she's chill, I guess. I guess we don't know that yet. She looks chill. What's wrong? Remember that loud chick from the gas station? A little. I was too busy with my slushie to really notice. Why? I think we just found our first lead. My voice trails off and I start towards the girl, pushing my way through the crowd. Was that girl talking about the treasure at the gas station? Do I not remember that? Because otherwise, I'm a little confused on why Amber thinks that would be their first lead. Hey, Amber, wait. Putting on my person mask, I take a breath and place my hand on her shoulder with a forced smile. That was a really cool transition. I do like how this game... I know I've already talked about how much I like the motion in this game and the animation, but the transitions are really cool too, because I feel like the few visual novels I have played, they have really sort of static transitions, but this kind of moving across the scenery and bringing characters closer or distancing them is really a nice way to transition. I like it a lot. Putting on my person mask, I take a breath and place my hand on her shoulder with a forced smile. For the last time, old man, I don't have any. Huh? Excuse me. She whips around, her eyes prepared for murder, but her features switch to standby mode as she realizes her mistake. Oh. Sorry, but didn't I see you at the convenience store yesterday? Oh yeah, that dump outside of Roswell, right? Yep, that was us. I'm Amber. The other girl's Marina. Marina waves and I extend my hand. The girl's eyes narrow, but she eventually shakes it with a surprisingly strong grip. Mariah. Everyone here for the treasure? They'd be idiots if they weren't. Hey, what do you know? You were right, Amber. You say that like it's a good thing. Oh, please, Amber, you're having fun. You decided to stick around. You guys here for the gold, too? Not sure why else somebody would come out. She looks over the scenery and wrinkles her nose. To this place. The ray of sunshine next to me is the one looking for the gold. I'm just the ride. Step away from the guardrail. You're all getting out of hand. The horde presses in. The yelling grows louder. You aren't getting through, so I don't even know why. A can of beer flies through the air and cracks him on the forehead, the liquid running down his face. Oh, come on. Navajo Parks and Recreation. They're trying to keep well-meaning treasure hunters from carving up the rock because of its religious significance. Oh no, Mariah, don't be one of those. Don't be one of those. Why? It just makes me sad when people don't understand, like, the religious significance of these places for Native peoples. Maybe because it's part of my job, but I'm just like, ugh. Like, this is too familiar. People really do come with this perspective, and while I am sympathetic to it towards a degree, it kind of makes me sad. But I like that this game is addressing it and bringing it to the table. I'm really curious to see what else they might comment on. Doesn't surprise me. This is a Four Corners state, so there's a lot of stuff like that out here. I think it's sweet that they're trying to protect big old Shippy. Mariah stares at her as if questioning her entire existence. But it's a rock. So? It's only good for postcards and carving big monuments. Why is it such a big deal if people want to look for the treasure up here? Well, it's not going to make much of a difference either way. Why is that? You a non-believer? No, I'm just not a sucker. Ooh, burn! That's not very nice, Amber. Well, it's true. It's obvious that this is all just an elaborate scam and everyone got ripped off. Before I finish my sentence, a cocky, overgrown smile makes its way on Mariah's face, oozing with snide confidence. What if I told you I could prove the treasure is real? I'd say you're full of it. Does that mean the treasure is real? Like honest to goodness real? Overwhelmed with excitement, Marina springs up and down, all while Mariah gives a smug nod. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Oh, you've little faith. I said I could prove it, didn't I? And how exactly are you going to do that? Come back to my base, full of highly trained elite treasure hunters. Then I'll show you. Elite what now? Highly trained elite treasure hunters. Right. Thanks, but no thanks, we'll pass. What? But why? Well, because you said we needed a game plan, right? This is the best chance we have right now. A terrifying amount of determination emanates from her as she forces an unwavering stare on me. Her gaze intensifies. I look down at my dusty shoes and finally give in. Geez, if it'll make you that happy, I'll do it. Yay! She's really damn determined. I'll give her that much. I'm not sure I could have said no. But this better be legit, you hear? I point to Mariah. I'm not in the mood to be jerked around today. Yeah, I'll keep my word. Hey, stop it! We look back to the crowd. The guardrails have toppled over and the crowd surges toward the man. I'm warning you, stay back! I have a megaphone! The crowd circles in around the chair and topples it over, the man crashing down with it. Oh, that makes me so sad. That stuff so happens. We should probably scram. Way ahead of you. Sleek and lavish, Maria's motorhome is like a mansion on wheels. Its chromy black paint is so fresh you can practically smell the primer. Here we are, base, sweet base. She throws the door open. Joe, Tess, buck up, we have guests. Marina and I shoot each other an unsure glance, then enter the motorhome. Oh, hey, did you finally manage to make some friends? Blow it out your ass, slacker. It's just as big and expansive on the inside, making the RV look like a toilet in comparison. It's definitely a luxury class, unlike my Class C. Or at least it would be a luxury motorhome if not the seemingly random decor. The wall is littered with posters of ska bands, the worst genre of music. Amber, what do you have against ska? There's some good ska out there. Even weirder are the license plates scattered everywhere. Some in boxes, some on the table, and some strung together like a wind chime. A beanbag in the corner and bottles of empty beer and liquor cast off on the ground. The place looks more like a frat pad than a base. I was gonna say, definitely if these are college-age kids, it sounds about right. An impression further aided by the guy sprawled out on the couch, his head wrapped in a bandana like Mariah's. Someone's feisty today. No luck with the treasure, I take it. Yeah, no thanks to you. Hey now, me and Tess were holding down the fort. That's a very important job. He gestures at the cot above him, a hollow space under some cabinets. It looks like a row of cupboards used to be there and were stripped out to make room for it. Lying on top of it is a little girl facing the other direction, fiddling with something. I can't make it out. She's wearing another identical bandana. Isn't that right, Tess? Tess gives a barely existent nod and continues tinkering. See? What did I tell you? Has she been like that the entire time? Yep, she hasn't moved since you left this morning. It's kinda sad. Please don't think I haven't noticed you were on that couch when I left. Guilty as charged. I clear my throat, reminding them of our presence. Oh, right. This is my team. The lug who's become one with the couch is Joseph, and the squirt is my kid sister Tess. Joe, Tess, this is Alyssa and Milena. Amber and Marina. Whatever. They're looking for the treasure, too. Hey there, ladies. I can only hope the highly trained elite team are hidden in the bathroom. Hey, I'm Marina. It's really nice to meet you. Marina jumps in front of me, taking hold of the conversation by its throat. The other girl is Amber. Say hi, Amber. Hi. Don't mind her, she's just grumpy. I'm not grumpy. You sound pretty grumpy to me. I groan and start muttering nonsense under my breath. Didn't think being a realist would make me grumpy. To be fair, I feel like all realists are really just pessimists, and hence tend to be grumpy. But they like using the word realist because they think pessimism isn't just a perspective, it's a reality. Which it's not, it's a perspective. She doesn't think the treasure exists. Uh-oh, Mariah, we've got a non-believer in our midst. Why do they keep saying that? Why do you think I brought her here? If you think you'll be able to convince me that this treasure is real, then fine, but you have another thing coming. Come on, where's your sense of adventure? Back in my motorhome. We can take you and your sense of adventure back to Carlsbad if you want. No thanks. Carlsbad? California? New Mexico. Rolling her eyes, Mariah walks over to a drawer. From inside, she pulls out something wrapped in cloth and brings it over to me. Go ahead, take a peek. Her smirk reappears, curling across her face as if it were a game and there's no way she could lose. Hesitant, I bring my hand to the rag and unwrap it. What? No way. Is this... That's right. Lying swaddled in the cloth is a yellow nugget. I give it a squeeze. It's soft. Definitely not a piece of pyrite. It's gold. But how? You know the miner who hid the treasure. That's Joseph's great-great-uncle. You're lying. I can testify for that. It's true. This thing is a family heirloom. More like it was lying forgotten in my basement until we stumbled across it as kids. After that, I heard great tales of the miner and his hidden treasure. She went to the library and found old newspaper clippings making fun of him. Then I made it my life's goal to find his treasure. She's been obsessed with it ever since. Help. That's a load. I saw you at the store yesterday. If you knew so much about the treasure, then why did you have to buy one of those journals? Another side of my family got the journal after he kicked it. We didn't hear about it until everyone else did. That doesn't prove anything. Mariah shoots me a scowl, similar to the look she gave the clerk yesterday. What are you trying to say? Sis... Tess finally moves, hopping down from her cot, another license plate wind chime in her hand, the plates clanking together as she runs over to Mariah. Sis, I finished it. She says this without a hint of emotion, her eyes in a constant, half-open state. It's kind of unsettling. How many is that now? 44? 45. Marina bends down to Tess's level and greets her. Oh, are you collecting license plates? Uh-huh. I only have 5 more until I have all 50 states. And what state do you have there? New Mexico. Her voice and expression don't change, still as dry as the desert air. Mariah scoffs. At least yesterday wasn't a complete waste of time. That junker was a piece of crap. Wait a second. All the parts were rustier than my ass. Even the scrap metal wasn't worth it. That was quite a comparison there, Mariah. Just be thankful we found it. We'd been busted if I hadn't salvaged the good bits. Besides, the money is going to keep us from starving. I look at Marina, but she doesn't seem to have put it together. About that car you found. That wasn't outside of Roswell, was it? Marina's eyes go wide, realization finally penetrating her skull. Yeah, not too far from the store. What do you care? I can feel my blood begin to boil. Marina can feel it too. Amber... Every part of me is shaking. I struggle to spit out the words. Her car was stolen outside of Roswell yesterday. It was out of gas, so we went to get some. Joseph is the next to realize it, followed by Tess. Oh, crap. So? I can't hold it in anymore. Sorry, Marina. So, you stole her car and dismantled it. Joseph jumps off the couch and apologetically bows repeatedly, all in one swift motion. Each bow makes me a little bit angrier. Joey said it was okay. I thought it was. Mariah gave the go-ahead. You told them it was all right? Yeah, so? It's your own fault for leaving it out there. How? How on earth is it our fault that it broke down? You know. Finders keepers. It's a frickin' car. Tess tugs on my shirt. What? I don't mean to, but the word snaps out of my mouth. The tiny girl shrinks away. All right, Amber, just calm down. We can talk this out. Here. She holds out the wind chime made of Marina's license plate, her eyes cast downward. You can have it. Never mind. Calming down isn't going to happen. A hand grasps my shoulder. I turn to Marina. She shakes her head and smiles. Amber, it's okay. But really, it's fine. She bends down to Tess and smiles reassuringly. You go ahead and keep it, sweetie. The trio, Mariah included, are taken back by Marina's saint-like reaction. Don't worry, guys, it's fine. Joseph breathes a sigh of relief. Oh, God, thank you so much. We're all really sorry about this, right, Mariah? Yeah, I guess. About as fed up with this as I am, Joseph shoots her a glare and smacks her on the back of the head. Ow, all right, I'm sorry and stuff. Marina, are you sure? They destroyed your car. Yeah, but it was pretty run down anyway. You're unreal, you know that? Anyway, we should head out now. We have a few things to take care of. Thanks for showing us the gold. Now I'm sure the treasure is real. No problem, ladies. Again, really sorry for all the trouble. If there's anything we can do for you, just give us a shout. Sure thing. We head for the door, but Marina turns around before stepping outside. By the way, was there a phone in the car? The pink Heisei? Is that how you pronounce it? Heisei? I'm gonna assume. Yeah, that's the one. We kinda sold that too. Oh man, that is crazy. Alright, that's where we're gonna leave it off. Just found out what happened to Marina's car. I don't know, I'd be pissed too, like Amber. But anyways, we'll have to see what happens on the next one. Anyways, thanks for watching, and take care, and I will talk to you all on the next one.